Coordinating big muscle groups to help you with walking and lifting can often be impacted after a stroke, especially if the cerebellum was injured. So today we're going to go through 2 sets of 5 exercises to help you improve your coordination. Let's get into it. We're going to start off with a nice simple exercise, marching. So these are going to be done standing up, but you can modify them to do them sitting down if need be. So all we're going to do is just lift leg and move arm. We're going to march it out. If you need to do this sitting down, you're just going to come here and try to march it out this way. Very nice, but I'm going to go ahead and come back up to standing. If you can get your knees a little bit higher, that's going to be great. We're getting coordination here because, as you can see, we're trying to move opposite arm with opposite leg. When we walk, that's typically, now I'm kind of exaggerating this, but this is kind of the movement that we tend to get. We swing our opposite arm forward. So we're getting some big movement here, coordination. Make those movements exaggerated if you can. You're doing fantastic. All right, rest here. We're moving into exercise 2, which is touching head, then crossing arms. So this one looks like touching head, crossing arms. Head, then arms. Now, if you can't get your affected arm up to your head, don't worry. What you can do is touch hips, cross arms. Touch hips, cross arms. But if you're up for a little more of a challenge and you have the movement, we're reaching up for the head, then crossing. So we're moving same side of the body, crossing midline, opposite side of the body. Head, cross, or hips and cross. Again, this can be done sitting down. So if you need to come here, head, cross, or hips and cross, you can. We're just getting some of those big movements with our arms here as we work on our coordination. All right, take a rest there. We are now moving on to the 3rd exercise, which is pickups. So you can, again, do this standing up or sitting down. I'm actually going to do this one sitting down just to show you. I've got some bubble wrap here. You can use, I've got cloth napkins, grocery bags, you can use bowled up socks. But what you're going to do is try to pick up whatever's laying on the surface, pass it to your other arm. Now you can alternate where you're either picking up with affected and passing to unaffected, or vice versa. Now, like I said, I've got a cloth napkin kind of wadded up here. If it's easier to try to get that, lift up, pick up, pass over, pass it back, put it down, or you can come here, pick it up, pass it, put down. Wonderful job. We're now moving into our next exercise, hand to knee. Again, sitting or standing, we're taking one hand, going to opposite knee. One hand, opposite knee. You can also do this standing up, hand to opposite knee. Now, obviously, if you're doing this in standing, this is really going to challenge your balance as well. So you either need to have something solid and sturdy to hang on to if you want to do these in standing, or have someone else with you for safety to help hold on to. There you go. Or again, you can do this sitting down. If you don't have a ton of movement in your affected arm, I just want you to do your best. Even if you don't quite touch your knee, that is okay. Just try to get as close as you can. We're working on big movement, crossing midline. We're also getting some trunk rotation as we turn. You're doing fantastic. Give me one more and relax. Fantastic job. Okay, last exercise, we're doing a toss. So again, sitting or standing. That's why I have this beautiful bag here. What I'm gonna do is scooch all these over. You can use a laundry basket, an old gift bag, whatever you have around the house that you can throw something into. For me, so I'm gonna scoot over just a little bit. I've got my cloth napkin here. I'm gonna try to toss. Ooh, that did not go as planned. Might be better to have something like a laundry bag or a laundry basket if you're using something kind of heavy. You can also use grocery bags, and you just want to try to toss And there you go. So that might work with the gift bag if you're using something lighter. I have just some bubble wrap that came in a package, and it's okay if it doesn't quite go in or stay balled up. You can have these already balled up and just try to toss. Good. All right. We have a little bit of a rest break here before we go into the next set of exercises. So take a nice deep breath with me here. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Good job. Let's go back into our second set. We're starting with marches. So let's go ahead. You can do this again, sitting down or standing up, but we're marching. We're bringing forward opposite arm with leg. Good. The more exaggerated you can make those movements, the better. Let me go ahead and stand up to show some too. Again, if you're doing these in standing, just make sure that you have something to hang on to. Maybe if you're still using a walker, have your walker in front of you so that if you do feel off balance, you have something to grab onto. Have another person with you. Safety is always the most important thing. But these marches are good. They're working a lot of the big muscle groups in our body, which is what we need for this coordination. This is called gross motor coordination. You may have heard of fine motor coordination, which is what we think of when we pick up really tiny things with our fingers or those really small finger movements. This is gross motor coordination, big muscle groups. Stop there. We're moving back into our head, cross arms, or hips, cross arms, whatever is easier for you. So we are touching head, we are crossing arms, head, arms, working one side of the body. Each arm is reaching up on the same side and then crossing there. Now you can reach to your upper arm, you can try to just reach to your elbows. If that's difficult, just try to reach across even your wrists. Again, if you need to, you can come down to your hips, cross here. You don't have to go super exaggerated, although if you're able to, I encourage that. Fantastic. Doing great. Like I mentioned, you can do these sitting down as well. So if it's easier and safer for you to sit and do these, go for it. All right. Exercise number 3, we are back at pickups. So pickups here, I'm gonna just use these little guys. So you're picking up one thing on the same side. You're passing it across your body to the other hand. Touch down, bring it back, and back to our original spot. Now, I didn't mention this last time, but if your grip strength is still off and you can't quite grasp, here's what you can do. All I want you to do is touch, pretend like you're picking up, pass to the other hand, relax, come back over, and then same movement. So it's the exact same thing, exact same movement, but without actually picking up. So if your hand has trouble grasping, you can still work on this. All right, great job. Moving into 4th exercise, which is hand to knee. So we are going hand to knee, right? Just like the exercise says, hand to knee. We're alternating because we want to get both leg and arm of the involved side engaged. Sorry, I have Miss Lucy, a little pup down here with me. She just sighed. All right, now again, you can do these standing up if you need a greater challenge where you're crossing, you're standing on one leg for a second, and then bringing that leg back down. Safety first, make sure you got something to hang on to if you are doing these in standing. These are challenging to your balance in addition to your coordination. All right, you're doing great. Give me one more. Wonderful job. Guess what? We're at our last exercise, which is tossing. So, learned last time, probably don't want to use something super heavy like the cloth napkin unless you're using, like a laundry basket or even like a balled up pair of socks you can toss into the laundry basket. So, let's go ahead. We're gonna use, We had a not a garbage bag, a shopping bag as well. So you can make this more challenging by putting the bag or the basket as far away as you want or as close as you want. Now, these don't quite stay all balled up, but they're still gonna work. We're gonna toss into the bag. Let's do one more. Toss into the bag. Very nice. Now, here's the thing. If you are doing this and you still don't have a ton of grip strength, you can still work on this with your unaffected or uninvolved side. But what I'd like you to try to do is actually, when you're throwing with your uninvolved hand, you're going, which may be difficult if it's your non-dominant hand, like it is for me. You're gonna try to throw across your body. See, didn't make it, but it's that movement where you're also gonna be kind of shifting your weight over onto the affected leg or your involved leg where you're throwing. So that's a way that you can modify this if you still don't have a ton of grip strength in your involved hand, but you still wanna work on that big coordination, those big muscle groups. All right, everyone, that's it for today. Thank you all so much for coming, for showing up for yourselves. Feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know, are there any exercises or workouts that you've done that you have found helpful for your coordination? As always, I'm gonna be leaving a link down in the description if you'd like to sign up for the email list, which gets you free stroke recovery tips, as well as a free copy of my ebook, The Stroke Recovery Pocket Guide. Please do make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and you find value in what we do. And also, if you find value in what we do, please consider gifting post-stroke. You can do that by either giving us a super thanks by clicking in the YouTube bar below, by giving us a one-time donation via PayPal, or by becoming a Patreon member, where in exchange for a monthly donation, you get access to cool perks like social media shoutouts, behind the scenes footage, and even YouTube shoutouts, of which I have 2 today. Thank you so much, Heather G. and Lee S., for continuing to contribute at the Empower level. We can't do what we do without you. And a huge thank you to all of our other Patreon supporters. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.